This is Bruce Towers. You're watching FBTV. With us today is Marianne Frederick, professional speaker, interactive trainer, and humorist.
If you want somebody who's going to jazz your audiences, who's going to have them leave with a message, who's going to be able to go ahead and make it fun, I can help them to network and meet each other so that they're going to get as much information from other people as they will from me. You've got to get the best bang for your buck. I'm one of those speakers who can give you that. I have the opportunity to be able to do lots of different things in lots of different ways. I can do everything from a lunch and learn to a couple of hours. What I tell people all the time is bring me into your conference and know that you can utilize me a lot of different ways. I can come in and do an after dinner speech, a little bit of humor. I can come in and do a breakout session. I can also be doing one of your opening or closing keynotes, so that as long as you've got me there, I say, use me, but don't abuse me. Don't give me two seminars back to back, right after each other, in different rooms.
What are the top types of organizations or groups that you want to get known by?
CEOs and their leadership staff. If you want to be retained in an organization, you have to be able to maintain a certain level of education and personal growth, professional growth. Right. And so that's what we try to say to the CEOs. If you can go ahead and keep yourself personally and professionally strong and smart and be a constant, active, lifelong learner, then you will be able to retain your job, and then also be able to provide some growth and stability for the employees that you do want to keep. Right. And then understanding that if you don't grow your company, then other companies will be able to outdistance you in the marketplace.
What type of titles do you tell a CEO? These are the things I want. I can rock your people on.
I tell them that if they really want their people to be creative thinkers and to be able to adapt to doing more with less, the creativity piece is something that I really am good at. It was really interesting. One day I was asked to do a creativity program for a company, and the gentleman said, but I'm going to have you do it for my management staff, and they're rather serious. So I need you to do a serious creativity program. All right. And I said, what? If we're going to touch into our right brain, which is the creative side of our brain, we've got to use a little bit of a playful attitude. We've got to stimulate that playfulness within ourselves. We were naturally creative as kids, and sometimes we lose that ability to be quite so creative in our thinking because we've had so many rules put on us.
How did you get into what you're doing?
I started doing community education programs, and then that transitioned into people saying, well, do you do this on the side, and how much do you charge? And I thought, well, there's a novel idea.
So you're based in South Carolina?
I am in South Carolina, in the Greenville area. I can get anywhere because I've got a good airport.
What types of companies are you looking for the most, or tend to look for you the most?
I do a lot of conferences for associations.
What kind of association?
More often than not, it's a specific association that says we need a keynote speaker to open or close our conference. I've done everything from healthcare associations to the public workers in North Carolina.
What kind of conferences?
Basically, they're annual conferences or regional conferences. Everything that I do really translates because humor is the base.
Do they give you topics to speak on, or do they choose from your menu?
I just simply say, go to my website, go to my topics list, and each of the topics for the programs has objectives. So for instance, literally they might say, well, we like a piece of this and a piece of this, and what I say is take the objectives, put them together, and then we'll call it whatever you want to call it.
What are the most common rave reviews your clients give you after you have wowed their organization meeting?
They call me back and they say, we want you to come back, we want you to do another thing. What else can you teach us? What else can you talk to us about? The other piece of it is that their attendees leave energized. For instance, I've got a great program that I call How to Have Energy Left at the End of the Day. And everybody who hears that says, tell me now, how can I have more energy by the end of the day? And so with that, I do a combination of stress management and some humor. I also like to do a program that I entitle Humor in the Workplace, because there's appropriate ways and inappropriate ways of taking humor into the workplace. And then I also do OSHA safety training. I know it's hard to believe, but what happened as a result of me being a physical therapist is I became very interested in helping people to work more safely. But at the same time, those safety topics, and particularly the OSHA stuff, can be so boring that I try to give it a little bit of a zing. to make it a little bit more memorable for people.
If I'm not having an event, I don't need to use you as a speaker, but I want everything you've published or printed. What do you got, and how do I get it?
I've actually got a couple of books, one of which I brought. It's called Exceptional Accomplishment. It talks about how to integrate humor, laughter, and play into the workplace effectively.
Where do we get that book?
On my website. You can go to my website and get some free articles and just simply say, oh, well, here's a good piece of information that you can put into your company newsletter about humor, about stress management.
What would you say to anyone who says, like, well, that could be a waste of time, that's frou-frou?
I say to people, go to the website, and if you see that there's a fit, because you like the topics that I do, then we can make it fit you specifically, because I like to tailor. Today may be our last day. So what we have to do is we have to live today as we want to be remembered. Enjoy life. This is not a dress rehearsal.